Okay, so we've all gotten used to AI that can talk, right? But today we're diving into something totally different, an AI that acts. This is the story of OpenClaw. Picture this. It's super late, 2:17 in the morning, last Thursday. A phone lights up in a dark room. No one's touching it, everyone's asleep, but something inside is busy, working away. Fast forward to 6 a.m. The owner, a guy named Marcus, wakes up and checks his phone. He sees a confirmation email. It turns out an AI, just living in his WhatsApp, spent the entire night negotiating with a car dealership. We're talking a 12 email back and forth playing one offer against another. The final result? He saved $4,200. And the craziest part? Marcus was asleep the whole time. He didn't type a single word.
Look, we all know and love ChatGPT, right? It's incredible. It'll give you answers, come up with strategies. It'll even write code for you. But, and this is a huge but, at the end of the day, you still have to do the work. ChatGPT talks and you execute. So, what if the AI could just do it without you? That's the game-changing shift we're digging into today.
So here's the plan for today. First, we'll look at the big problem this solves. Then we'll do a quick history of automation to see why this is such a big deal. We'll dive into how OpenClaw actually works, see some real-world examples, and, this is really important, we'll talk about the dangers. Okay, so let's start with the big problem here. We've got these amazing AI brains, like ChatGPT or Claude, that are just insanely powerful. But there's a catch. They're incomplete. They can think, but they can't actually do anything. And that gap? It creates something called the human bottleneck. Think about it like this. Imagine you hire the best doctor in the entire world. I mean, this doctor gives you a perfect diagnosis every single time, but the doctor has no hands. They can tell you exactly how to do the life-saving surgery step by step, but they can't pick up the scalpel. You have to do it. That's our AI today. It's a brilliant mind with no hands. And we, you and me, we've become the hands, doing all the work. So the billion-dollar question is, how do we give this AI some hands? Well, to really get it, we need to take a quick look at the 5 stages of automation and see why the first 4 just didn't quite cut it. It all started with just manual work, right? Everything moving at human speed. Then came stage 2, scripts. They were fast, but they were also super brittle. One little thing changes and they break. Stage 3 brought us tools like Zapier, which are awesome, but they're really rigid and rule-based. Then came stage 4, the big one, large language models like ChatGPT. Brilliant minds, but they were completely trapped inside a box. And all of that history, all those limitations, led us right here to stage 5, agentic AI. This is where intelligence finally gets to work with agency. And that's the key takeaway right there. With ChatGPT, intelligence showed up to the party. But agency, the actual ability to do things, it wasn't invited. It was like having a brilliant prisoner who could whisper amazing advice through a slot in the cell door, but could never ever come out and actually help you. And that's exactly where OpenClaw steps in. It's the system built from the ground up to be the bridge over that gap, to finally connect that brilliant AI mind to a pair of hands that can get things done. So how does it work? Well, it runs on this continuous 7-step loop. It gets a task from you, it checks its local memory to see your preferences and context, it figures out the right tools or skills for the job, and then, this is the magic part, it actually executes the actions. It does the work. After that, it tells you what it did, updates its memory with what it learned, and get this, if it fails, it doesn't just stop. It tries again, using a different strategy. It's relentless. And what makes OpenClaw so different really comes down to 3 core ideas, 3 pillars. First, it's open source. That means you can see every single line of code, total transparency, kind of like Linux. Second, it's local first. This is huge. Your data lives on your machine, not on some company's server. You could literally open it in Notepad. And third, it's always on. It has this heartbeat that pings every 10 or 15 minutes, proactively looking for things to do for you. Okay, so that's the theory. That's how it's supposed to work. But what does this look like in the real world? Let's check out some actual documented cases of this thing running on autopilot. So remember that always on feature? Here's a wild story. A user, Hormold, had one of his health insurance claims rejected. But here's the thing, he didn't even know about it yet. His agent, just doing its routine check, found the rejection email. So what did it do? It automatically found his insurance policy, wrote up a formal rebuttal, even citing the specific clause the company got wrong, and sent it off. The insurance company reopened the case. Hormold found out about the problem and the solution in the very same message from his agent.
He never had to worry for a second. So if you put it side by side with the other tools out there, the difference is just stark. ChatGPT, no real autonomy, no local memory. Zapier, it's great for rules, but it's not intelligent. OpenClaw is the one that brings it all together. It can act on its own, it remembers things locally on your machine, and you can even pick whichever AI model you want to use with it.
And people are using this for all sorts of things. I mean, it's being used at a massive enterprise scale by a company like Tencent. There's even an experiment called Moltbook where 1.5 million agents were interacting with each other. We saw the personal stuff like negotiating a car deal. And then there's the cautionary tale. A guy told his agent to just improve his personal life. Vague, right? Well, he came back later and found out it had created a dating profile for him and was already screening potential matches. I mean, talk about unsettlingly helpful.
And yeah, that story brings us right to the dangers. Because, let's be real, a tool this powerful isn't a toy. We absolutely have to talk about the risks, but let's do it seriously without getting all panicked.
There are really 4 big ones to keep in mind. First is prompt injection. This is where someone hides commands in, say, an email that can hijack your agent. And this isn't theoretical. Cisco's security team has already seen this happen in the real world. Second is autonomy blur. That's when a vague command like improve my life leads to something you didn't expect, like that dating profile. Third is system-level access. A bad actor could create a malicious skill that gives them total control of your system. And finally, there's data exposure, because all these connections to other apps can be a weak link in the chain.
You know, the creator of OpenClaw, Peter Steinberger, he didn't mince words. He said, and I quote, "If you can't understand how to run a command line, this is far too dangerous for you to use safely." That's about as direct a warning as you can get. He's saying that some technical know-how isn't just nice to have, it's essential if you want to use this thing safely.
But here's the right way to think about that. A car is dangerous, right? A kitchen knife is dangerous. We don't ban them. We learn how to use them carefully, with knowledge. The risk doesn't mean the tool is bad. It just means that education and being careful are absolutely mandatory. The goal here is to be informed, not to be scared. And people are definitely paying attention. In just 8 weeks, 2 months, OpenClaw got over 100,000 stars on GitHub. To put that in perspective, a really successful project might get 2,000 stars in that same amount of time. This kind of growth, it's just not normal. It screams that there's a huge pent-up demand for exactly this kind of tool. All right, so let's boil this all down to the 5 key takeaways. Number 1, it acts. It doesn't just assist, it executes. Number 2, it lives where you already are, in messaging apps you use every day. 3, your data is yours. It stays on your machine. 4, it's completely open and you can build on top of it. And number 5, maybe the most important one, this is just the beginning. We are literally at day 1 of this whole new thing. So that really leaves us with one big thought to chew on. For the past few years, we've been getting used to an AI that assists us. Well, that era, it's over. The age of an AI that acts for us has just begun.